And yes, we are going live. 3, 2, 1. Maybe not. Maybe we are. Always allow. Yes. I so miss my tech team, Lisa. We are live. 1, 2, 3. There's like on my whole screen, there's like I would want to show you the live thing. The live thing is like this tiny. I need glasses. Welcome everybody. I would want to show you the live thing. The live thing. That's how you know you're live. Terrible. Welcome. Welcome, Lisa. Welcome, Rachel. Welcome, hopefully someone on Twitch, maybe Jessica. I'm saying hi to you too and everybody else, wherever you are, or if you're watching the replay. So surprise, surprise, tonight, you're gonna get a super fast crash course in Italian. Yay! Because I completely and utterly lost all my slides. Tried to rebuild them, but I guess from like a rotten apple, because I rebuilt it and after 15 minutes, it just closed down and said like, you have a problem with your PowerPoint slides. We're very sorry. I don't care if you're sorry, you know, I just want my slides back, but I can't get them back. And that's why we're going to improvise in the sense that I'm going to show you the slides in Italian. And that way, I think, Monica, you'll get something in Italian too, because you asked for it. And Lisa, you'll just have to use your imagination. And if you have questions, that is super cool. Talking a little about our voice today. I'm going to give a little theoretical introduction, and then we're going to work a little practicing how to talk. And Lisa, would you mind repeating what you told me when we were not live?
Oh, certainly. Yes. So my issue is sometimes when I'm having conversations with people, I have a tendency to want to have them hurry up and get to the point. So instead of that, I will find myself talking over the ends of their sentences.
Okay. And do you remember what we call that type? Up. We call that type up. And the other one is like down. And up is, you know, extrovert. They like to talk. They like to get things done. Whereas down is they're a little more, you know, they have not a hard time speaking, but they have to think more. And it takes a little longer for them to be trustworthy enough. I mean, to trust someone enough to talk to them, which is super cool. Problem is, Lisa, if you have up, because they're not going to listen that much. And if you have down, it's going to really boring. And I made some slides once, and once is the down's reaction to the up type is like, this is what's all over. It's just way too much slow down. Whereas the up, if they talk to someone that is down, it's like, when are you going to get to the, you know, when you're going to get to the point, just get there. And the fact that you already know what type you are and you're aware of it, that's the first very important thing. So ready to work with your voice. And this is the first crash course. Are you there? Yes. Willing to work with your voice? Yes, of course. Ready to sing? So who's going to sing or who's going to talk? Like if I asked you that question, if you were with me right now, just talk or just sing something, would you? Probably not, because it's very difficult. Personally, for me, I did a choir crash course Sunday, and I would literally love to do research on why it is so difficult for people just to stand up and sing literally 2 bars of any given melody. Like Lisa, if I asked you to sing now, anything, would you?
No, because I don't believe I have a singing voice.
Yeah, but you don't need do you need a singing voice? Now I'm going to ask the questions today.
Yeah.
Do you need a
Yes.
singing voice to sing?
Yes, because otherwise you feel embarrassed.
Yes. And I am going to do that research. So would actually love for everybody that watches this, just send me a message wherever, Facebook, Instagram, wherever, just like the thought about singing in front of people. How does it make you feel? Right now, Lisa, you said embarrassed.
Yes.
So is it part vanity or is it part shyness? Which one is?
Oh, I think it's vanity.
You do. I knew it, Lisa. I loved you from the day I saw you because it is. Of course, it is. How would you define? We talked about this a couple of times. How would you define? Rachel, thank you. You said you sound like a frog, like this, like We call that twang. From now on, we're just gonna call it twang because it does sound a little better than I sound like a frog. Don't tell yourself you sound like a frog. That's not nice. How would you define the human voice? What is the voice for you? And feel free to write it in the chat or in a message. Scrivilo nella chat o in un messaggio privato. That way we're going to have a little translation today. And if you're on Facebook, feel free to write it in the comment. How would you define the human voice? It's not an easy voice. Yes, voice can be sensual. Yes, it can. And if it is, normally we will experience it like something like this. It's a little deeper, might be a little air in the voice. It sounds, yes, oh, definitely. It tells a lot about the person. You can probably feel when someone is a little anxious, like today I'm going live and it's like don't have my PowerPoint presentation. That's totally okay. I'm gonna do it in a time, but you can definitely probably hear it. What would you say, Lisa? What is the voice to you? Essential, definitely. It's a tool of communication. You can use it and misuse it, and you can lose it. That's why we're talking about it.
Definitely it's for communication, but also I think if you listen really well, you can hear a person's intention behind what they're saying.
Awesome. Can you give me an example?
The easiest things is if you ask somebody if they did something and they didn't do it, they'll usually have a hesitation or they'll do an
Yeah. And we totally change the timbre, like the quality of the sound. If someone asks you something, they're probably going to have a more softer tone, more polite tone. The women, that have children, they're like, they know. It's like, mommy, okay, what do you want? Just tell me what you want. Don't give me, the whole speech because I don't have time. Or if it's something serious, you will lower your voice. So definitely tell something about what their intention is. The system that I teach is not the only way to Rome, as we say in Italy. Say that all roads lead to Rome. So there are lots of ways to have a healthy, efficient, charismatic, exciting, lovely radiophonic voice. What we're proud of in the voice evolution system is minima spesa, massima resa. And you can probably hear that when I speak Italian, my voice does change a little. And it is minimum expense, maximum yield. We want to do it. We want to have that voice that we like I can be able to record myself and be, okay, it's not perfect. It's not, super fantastic, but I'm happy. I'm okay with my voice. And I actually think it sounds okay. And we want to do that in the least amount of time possible. To do that, all the structures in our voice need to collaborate, because if one is off from, let's call it the audio mirror, like the result that I want, if one is off, it's not going to sound like I want it to sound. Next question would be, how would you describe your own voice? And Rachel, you already said it sounds like a frog. Would you be able just to speak? You don't have to have your camera to say anything, so I can see. I'll tell you, okay? I'm not, I have no problem telling you if it does. Okay.
I'm saying that
if I'll
the
shut
thing
up,
is,
you can talk, right? See, Lisa, that's my problem too. If I'll shut up, okay, go, Rachel.
well, I have a bad internet connection. Well, if I sing, I think I sound like a frog because I don't usually know the lyrics. But with my voice, I think I sound like happy because you always just want to be happy.
Okay.
And not taken seriously because I'm smiling.
Okay. Okay. Would you say that again and just try, if you can, Rachel, put your hand on your larynx like this. And just do this E-O, E-O, E-O. That way you sound like a mule. And we'll make a mix of the mule. Yeah, good, very good. And then if you can, just put it in the position, the little lower, because it's going to sound a little more serious. When you lower your larynx, this is an essential space for your voice. When your larynx is very high, it has a more acute timbre. And if you lower the larynx, the timbre is darker. So try to just think about like a deep tone, a bass note, and speak there.
Like to speak with my hand like this.
Mm-hmm.
Hello, 1, 2, 3, 4.
Okay, go on. Just you can say the same thing that you said before if you want.
Speaking confidently is very serious.
Okay, but can you hear that? That's already a completely different voice, just moving one parameter.
Yes.
So there's a lot. Domanda, question. What are the determining factors for the way that your voice sounds or is perceived? What makes your voice your voice? What makes my voice my voice? Why do I speak like I speak? Why do I have, we're not even talking about accent, because of course, if I live in Texas or I live in Delaware or I live in Israel or I live in England, my accent is different, but like literally how my voice sounds. All these factors are essential. How your vocal cords are structured, like literally, how are they built? Your type, and let's say like dominant center, if I'm a very intellectual type, or if I'm a very emotional type, or I'm the moving type and I just want to move around. You can't have someone that's very physically active, like with a small voice like this. I can't even do it, literally. I can't even do it. We talked about stereotypes a couple of Thursdays ago. Like if you have a huge guy, you can't imagine him with like a tiny voice. And if you have someone that's tinier, like bodily wise, you can't imagine them with a voice like this. And sometimes they actually do surprise you. Vizi e abitudine is how we're used to using our voice. Vocal hygiene, how well I take care of my voice, and including in that is how well I eat, if I smoke, if I drink, all those wonderful, wonderful things that we can do when we want to relax, like smoking and eating and drinking and other stuff that I cannot say here. Like chocolate, best thing in the world, not that good for our voice if it's in huge quantities, because you can get acid reflux and it can be inflammatory for your vocal cords. So if you have that, try to take care of that because it's very damaging for the voice. General health, of course, my posture, how I take care of myself, if I am in good shape, if I'm in bad shape. The vocal cords, it's a muscle, they're a muscle. So just like we train our muscles and they can be more or less flabby, the vocal cords too. You know, when someone gets older, they try to talk. That's all I want to go, because the tone, the muscle tone is not what it used to be. Family, how we talk in our family. Just for a second, just go back and think about your mom's voice, your dad's voice, or the people that took care of you, no matter where you grew up. Just how did they talk? Did they talk loud, fast, slow? How would you describe their voices? Is it serious voices, happy voices? Do they have like a very heavy accent from where they live? I just literally saw my mom on tape a couple of weeks ago, and I totally do not remember. I did not remember that she spoke with a very heavy Jyllandsk accent, like from the area where we lived in Denmark, and I didn't remember that. It was very nice to hear. Your social, whomever you spend time with, how they talk, and even, you know, what choice of words they use, vocabulary, what is normal in my surroundings, and of course where I work. Do I work in a place that's very loud? Do I work in a place that's very that, you know, there's nobody there? Do I work behind a computer? Where do I work? What is going on? Okay, Kaylee Marie, an instrument that was used to communicate with others, express and share thoughts. Yes, that was the definition of the voice. Thank you, Kayla. That's very true. An instrument. I like the definition instrument because I think it's the world's best instrument. Of course, I have to think that because we can make so many sounds with it. It's incredible. And this is how I wrote this. The truth is, or belongs to the person that observes, or in this case, listens. So if I feel that my voice is not how I want it to be, and if you're like, I'm not happy with it, don't listen to anybody. Like, don't let them tell you, oh, your voice sounds fine. You have to be the one that is happy with your voice. You want to go out and do a presentation and be like, oh my gosh, my voice was amazing. It was really nice. I felt comfortable. I moved my lips. I had some space. I made breaks. I went down and was serious. And I went all the way up like this when I got really excited about something. So people were listening to me. And sometimes it can feel a little weird when we start out doing it. And it's one of the most difficult things. It really is. It's one of the most difficult things to do is change our voice. Because let's say that I really wanted to improve my accent, my English accent, and I would try to speak a little more like Oxford English. People are like, what are you doing? And what's going on with her? Who does she think she is? Or that sounds weird. So when you do go work on your voice, it doesn't only sound weird for you and it's difficult for you. It's also difficult for people to relate to, because what happens, Lisa, what we talked about before, is that they don't know what's going on. You know, like what you said before with intentions is so true, because you automatically, if you know someone, you kind of know where they're going. And like, if all of a sudden I start to talk like this, or I completely change my vocal parameters, or I start to talk like this because I'm with someone in Texas, or I've been there for, if I lived in Texas for a year, I might, there's something more like this. Or even in your voice, Lisa, there's a little bit more twang than I have. People are like, what's going on with her? This is weird. Just be yourself. Which there's no such thing as be yourself with your voice. There's just be whatever your voice was molded to be through family, school. Let's say you have a really, really acute voice like this, and it's really nice, and there's a lot of volume in there, and you go to school and you talk like this, what they're going to say, the teacher. So you learn to take that off, that space off. And let's look at the three most important things, or at least one of them. 3 elements of the voice that are essential to how it sounds. 3 main areas that are really easy to work with, and it takes no time, almost no time. It takes a little time, but not as much as you would think. You have to know very well 3 things. What kind of vocal cords you have, what your laryngeal space is, how you use it, and the pharyngeal space. These are the 3 spaces. It sounds so weird to say spaces. You can't say spaces, right, Lisa? 1, yes, it's 1, 2, and 3, the vocal cords. This is a perfect. So literally, okay, look, I got it. My voice is like a hammer. Yes, it is. And it can hammer in different ways. Larynx, this part here. Larynx. And of course, your vocal cords. That's the ABC. Vocal cords, corda vocali, spazio laringeo, larynx, and pharynx. This is what gives resonance to the voice. Like if I put my mouth like this, it's gonna sound differently. Or if I put my arms on it, or if I'm very angry and I close my teeth like this, it's very different. Because where the air literally looks for spaces where it can move. And of course, if I do something like this, it's totally different too. Yeah, Lisa, totally do it. Totally. I'm saying a lot totally today. Chords. First one, what kind of vocal cords do I have? Why is that important to know? That's a difficult question for non-singers. Just gonna leave like an awkward silence. Why is it important to know what kind of vocal cords you have? Well, it's not really. It's very important to know how they work, how they function, but it is like basic element is like the structure of a house. That is what your vocal cords are. Do you know what color they are? Lisa or Rachel, what vocal cords? Do you know what color they are?
Are they white?
Yes, they are. I think you're like number 2 in my career that says yes, completely. I'm so happy about that. They are actually white. And how are they made, more or less? This is like a very basic, simple picture of the vocal cords. These are the white, they're white. And these that you can see here, we'll watch them now, are the false vocal cords. And warning, because some people, they don't like to see the vocal instrument like a stroboscopy, and I'm going to show that to you now. So if you don't like slimy stuff and stuff that vibrates and looks like blah, 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 pudding, you should close your eyes now and just listen to the sound. Ta-da! There they are. Isn't that amazing? Like I can go like with something like this. Crazy, right? They're like this tiny. tiny, 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 teeny tiny vocal cords. And if just something like a little tiny something like a cyst or something happens, it's a mess. Vocal cords, 2 of them, they vibrate like this. False cords, lifesavers, they close whenever we are scared. And that's why when you go up to that blackboard or you go up on stage and everybody's looking at you in the room, you're like, and it's like you have a frog, right, just stuck in your throat. And those are the false vocal folds, they close in because they want to save you. And they do not know that you're not running away from some lion or dinosaur in the jungle. They just don't know. They think you're literally, your life is in danger. So they just close like this. And you can imagine if these 2 close on top of these 2, there's just no way they're going to vibrate. And that's why the tenor can, like go like, ooh, and it sounds like this, because when they close in, and that's, Lisa, why we're so embarrassed, because we don't want that to happen when we sing. So that's one of the main factors, because we cannot control them. And it would have been totally nice. I didn't know that until 1996 exactly. It would have been totally nice if someone had told me, like, don't worry about it when you're in front of an audience and you do, that's totally normal. And can you see what happens is that when there's a lower note, the larynx moves away from the camera, so it goes deeper. And when there's a high note, it moves towards the camera. So it's like an elevator, goes up and down. You can do it on your own throat. This is like ee-oh, ee-oh, ee-oh. And those are literally all the ranges that you can actually use. Like you can talk up here if you want, and the larynx is very high, or you can talk up here. And if you observe your voice during the day, you will notice it's like, what? Are you ready? Whenever you're serious or you're upset, it's like, Ugh. And when we want something, just like we said before, it's a softer tone probably.
It's very soft.
And this thing that is visible here is the area epiglottic sphincter. And when it closes like this, the sound gets louder. I will show you later, but no, I'm just going to show it to you now if I can find it. Hold on. There you go. This is when it's open, or more or less open and closed. And you can try to do like a duck. You want to try it, Lisa, with your unmute?
Like,
Yeah. And when you have that in your voice normally, Lisa, just say whatever sentence you want to say.
The lazy brown fox jumped over the river.
The lazy brown fox jump. I love it. Okay, so the lazy brown fox jump. So Lisa has what we call twang already. So the difficult thing would be to take that off and have a softer voice that does not have twang.
Oh.
Do you want to try? Say it really slow.
Okay. The lazy brown fox jumped over the river.
Yeah. And now just take it all off, not the lazy brown fox, the lazy brown fox. Open your mouth a little more.
The lazy brown fox jumped over the river.
That's so good. Great. Amazing. Why is it important for us to know what vocal cords we have? Because they're like the brand, kind of like the brand of whatever. It could be normally, I do it with cars. Like if your vocal cords are a Ferrari or a Lamborghini or a Volvo or a Tesla, they are that. And if it's a Fiat or a Peugeot or Suzuki, I don't know a lot about cars, but I kind of like know, the very expensive ones and the not so expensive ones. And that is how your chord is like, that is how you're born. Like you're either born with a thin, short chord or a long, thick chord, and there's nothing you can do about it. But just like with a car, you can paint it, you can put a super radio in it, you can put new tires on it, you can do whatever you want with it to make it better. And that's the same thing with the voice. But yes, vocal cords, it's like you can have, let's call it a talented vocal cord and a not so talented vocal cord, but you can work on it. And it's like that with everything, right? If someone is really great at playing soccer, or you have to have a certain body to be a ballet dancer, same thing with the chords. And yes, some people, they tend to sing not that in tune, but you can work with that too. So no worries. Lisa, sooner or later, like, I don't know, moving up to January, no, maybe for Christmas, we can do a little Christmas tune. And of course, so these are all the different cars that we can have. And the older we get, it's just like the car, unfortunately. And that's why we have to keep it healthy, the voice, for as long as possible, especially if you're someone that do presentations, or if you work with people, you have clients that you talk to, it's really important. We will just go through the parameters. Of course, number one thing is vocal hygiene. We can ask me any question you want. We can talk about that, but I want to hear Lisa. Length, how long it is. Length and mass. It can be either longer, just like a bridge, or shorter. The shorter it is, the chord, the more acute it is. The longer it is, the darker the sound is. That makes sense, right? If, let's say you have like a ukulele, do you say ukulele? Like a ding, 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 like a small guitar?
Ukulele.
Ukulele. It's a ukulele. Okay. It's like ding, ding, ding. You wouldn't expect like dong, 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 dong from a ukulele. All right. And if you have a bass, you expect a dark sound. So instinctively, we already know these things, and we have expectations of how the voice is going to sound of the person. Have you ever tried that you talk to someone on the phone, and then when you see them, like, that's not what I thought they looked like, and that's weird. So we already have like the voice, we attach some kind of face to the voice immediately when we hear it. It's all in our brain, of course. And it can be thinner or thicker. And same thing, of course, the thinner, the more acute the sound is, and the thicker it is, the more dark and bass the sound is. But that is not the only parameter, unfortunately. So when you have people that speak like this, they have a very tiny chord. They might have a little tiny neck, or a long but very thin neck, and they have a fairly tiny head, and they're not that tall, and they maybe have like a very acute voice like this, and they have tiny vocal cords, and we call them soprano leggero. And I think that it's the same thing in English. It's the Italians. Well, opera was born in Italy. Or if they have a long vocal cord, and it has a lot of mass, it's a thick voice. It's a deep bass voice like this. And these are all the different voices. I'll be happy to send these, but they are not relevant today. Something else is in your vocal cord, just like your skin. Do you know how your skin can be drier? Like you can have dry, less dry, and then like oily skin. It's the same thing with the level of cells and water in your cords determines how your cord is classified. And this is how the cord is built. There's nothing you can do about this. So if it's perfect, if there's like a perfect report, there's a perfect ratio between cells and water, we call it an elastic cord. And those are all the people that are famous singers, speak on the radio, that we like to hear their voices. They have an elastic cord. It can go like, has no problems singing or doing other stuff. If the cord has more cells than water, we call it woody. And it's like, it's not a nice voice to listen to. It's like very, it can be, how would you call this sound, Lisa? It's like,
Yeah. I don't know what I would call it.
Like, it's not easy to classify, but it's like, it to me, it like gives me the sensation of contraction, not elastic. So it's the opposite.
It sounds forced.
Forced, yes, that's because my cord is not like that. I don't think, no, it's not. But yes, it's like, relax. But it's because the cord has more cells than water, so it actually can't. And you need to do specific exercises. And then there's a flabby cord. And Rachel, yours is either, if you're still with us, yours is either flabby or elastic. But I would think flabby. So with the flabby cord, it doesn't have as much muscle tone as the elastic cord. So it can be a little bit like this. And the best way to explain it is like a peach. You know, when you take the peach off the tree, is like really juicy, really nice. That's the elastic cord. And then you have the syrup peach. It's like, it's like flabby, like this, and that's the flabby cord. And they have a hard time like speaking in a loud manner. And you might ask them, could you speak up a little? And they're like, yes, of course I can. And nothing happens, like nothing changes. Teachers that have to use a microphone and so on. And the last one. Is like, if it's a dehydrated peach, it's like, it's wooden like that. So that is really important. Like if I have a wooden cord, and if I have a flat cord, it's something like this. And it can be really disturbing because you can, I don't know if you ever tried literally listening to someone that you just have to, I have it with audiobooks. I just can't listen to certain speakers when they read the book. And that is probably a woody cord, because this is really hard to listen to. Let me read something from this. So the elastic cord is all radiophonic, and you know how they speak on the radio. Of course, they have filters. If we could see ourselves from a different perspective in the astral world, in fact, we see our identification. That's an elastic voice. And then you got that. We would become quite scared of it. If we live our whole life in such negative, nah, 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 nah. Whereas the flabby voice, it can be hard to hear them. But it's, let's say, preferable to the wooden voice. And then the last thing. Do you remember the orange block? And that is our cross. It is how our voice works, because you can actually have an elastic voice that sounds like a flabby voice, but it is, I wrote these down in English because I'm not good at pronouncing these. I'm just gonna say, so it sounds normal, or hypertonic, or hyperkinetic. So like hyperkinetic is someone that works at a call center and they're used to just talk, hello, this is madam from blah, 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 and they speak like this all day. So it's hyperkinetic. The voice is just over. Okay, Lisa, I can see you smiling. So, okay, we're going to take it from there. And then the hypotonica is like, it might be an elastic cord, but somebody told them always to be quiet, or they're just a lone child, single child, so they're not used to speaking up. Or they just have like an elastic, tiny cord that is soft. And as Kimberly so beautifully put it, unfortunately, if someone speaks like this, and it's actually a very pleasant voice, you come off, people perceive you as non-secure, like insecure, or that you're too nice, which has got nothing to do with that. It's just literally the vocal cords. They can, of course, be connected, the two of them, but it's not necessarily so. Or maybe just a nice person. Or maybe you're just used to people not getting upset because you live in a really harmonious family. You're happy. You do what you love to do. So you don't get angry and you don't shout. But it's people tend to mistake that for being insecure. What it goes back to, habits, how you used to talk, how you talk at work, how you talk in your culture, how they talk in your family, and your type. You know, if you're a sword or shield, a crown, we've been through these sometimes, or what kind of problem you have, it will be reflected in your voice. Because if you're more the shield type, it's like, come on, let's all get along and we'll talk about it. And then they can be very strict. So don't be mistaken, because if you upset a shield, they're gonna get more upset than a sword, actually, in the end. And everything is okay, no judgment. We just need to work with it. Lisa.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Talk like a minute or 2 minutes about anything, but maybe, Lisa, whatever, presentation, or what do you want to do? Do you want to talk about the method?
No, I can talk about the weather here is turning into a fall weather. It's beautiful. It was 68 degrees today. It was nice to be able to open the windows and get the breeze coming through, opening the front door, opening the back door. And then the kitty cats were enjoying the scenery and watching the leaves, fly by and getting very excited.
Lisa, do you have a pen nearby?
Yes.
You remember the 3 spaces?
Oh, this.
Yes.
Mm.
Okay. And you know what? Just present yourself, because then we can use it for something that is not the weather.
Okay.
Yeah, maybe that one is better. It's not as big.
Oh, I don't want to present myself. Okay, present myself.
Or present the method or the rules, or just the first category, whatever.
Okay.
So you're a KonMari consultant, right? Yes,
Correct.
I know. And is that your main job?
It's kind of a side job. It's a secondary job.
And what do you do in your main job?
My main job, I'm a housewife. And I take care of my family and I help my husband with his business.
Okay, cool. Can I ask how many kids you have?
I don't have any. I have my mother who lives with us.
Okay.
So I have my mother and my husband and then my 2 kitties. And that's my family right now.
Oh, I miss my dog.
Oh,
She's with my son. Yeah, so I'm gonna go see her tonight. They become like children. I never thought that would happen, but it does. They like make a hole in your heart and they put themselves there, and I don't think they're ever gonna leave again, which is nice.
the animals, they have the unconditional love.
They do. They do.
Okay,
All right.
so
yeah, and this is everything you want.
okay. Hello, my name is Lisa, and I was going to talk to you today about the first category of KonMari, and that is clothing. And when we do the clothing, we empty everything from all of your closets and your drawers and anything you have hidden under the bed, and we gather it all into one spot and we put it in a large pile. And then we go through the pile one piece at a time, where you hold a piece of clothing to yourself and you find if it sparks joy or not.
Super, super, super. Okay, you can take it out. And then you say exactly the same thing.
Okay. Hi, my name is Lisa, and we are going to go through the clothing category today, where we're going to pull everything out of your closets and your drawers and out from under your bed and any other hiding places that you have them. And we're going to put them all in one spot. And then we're going to go through each article of clothing and pick them up one at a time.
Okay, I'm out of breath. So what happens is that when we talk to somebody, and it doesn't matter whether we're on stage or speaking to them directly, they feel whatever we feel. That's why we like more to be with some people than other people. So if you like that, I'm gonna be like that, all that stuff. I don't want to do all that stuff, and we want to get clients, right? So just a little pause. Maybe do 2 sentences, and then you just count 1, 2 in your head, and you cannot talk until you're done counting 1, 2. And first rule, Lisa, of anything that you present, anywhere you go, anywhere in the world, any time of day, any topic.
I'll smile.
Yeah, you smile.
Well,
Open up. Yes. Okay. You're sitting down, right?
yes, I'm sitting down.
It's a super posture.
Okay.
Right. So if you have a straight posture and your chin is kind of in, it allows your breath to flow freely.
Chin in. Okay. I never knew that. All right, start.
Yes.
Hi, I'm Lisa. I'm here today to talk to you about the first category of KonMari. That was the clothing category. We're going to be gathering everything from your closets and your drawers. We're going to be putting those in one spot and gathering everything together, and then we will pick up each piece and we will lift them up and find out whether or not they spark joy.
It's perfect, Lisa. So much better. Next time we're going to talk about this space, but I just want to do one little exercise, Lisa, but it's not easy. You breathe out like this, and then you breathe in a K, like literally a K for Kirsten, like this.
Oh, your mouth goes into a K inside.
Hold on, I'm gonna change my audio settings because otherwise you probably won't hear it. You breathe out, and then you breathe in a K.
Oh. Okay.
Perfect, and thank you so much for doing this. Okay, live and thank you. Really, it's so exciting. Perfect. And can you feel, Lisa, that the K before you say it, right before you say it, kind of like you feel closure in your, it's called retropharynx, behind, let's say, at the back of your tongue.
Yeah.
And then when you say the K, it opens up like this.
Mm-hmm. And you can feel the air flowing.
Exactly. So what happens is that you relax that muscle. And the more space you have back there, the more space the air has to flow through. And when you have a little twangy voice like you, it's one of the most easy thing you can do. Open up that space because it's going to resonate in a different way. So do it like 5, 6 times. Good, good, good. Don't do more than you can do, and breathe out. Perfect. Again, breathe out. Posture.
Oh, sorry.
You're doing great.
It's hard.
It is.
It's hard.
Normally, if we do vocal exercises, we're used to like breathe in, breathe in heavily. We don't want to do that. We want to breathe out and then. Very good. Good. Perfect. Okay. And now, Lisa, just pretend that you're kind of talking in that spot back there, that the air flows out there. Yeah, because we don't know how that sounds because you're used to sounding always like this. So you just try. The only way it's going to change is if you just try. Good.
I'm breathing in, so it's hard to breathe out and talk.
No, sorry, I didn't explain it well. Yeah. Now, so you have that. Okay, how does that feel when that space is
Oh,
open?
I think hello, hello,
Hello, hello.
hello, hello. No, that's supposed to be not right. Hello.
Very good. And that way you can take off a little of the twang.
Oh, okay. Oh, this is hard.
It is.
Hello.
Good, good, good. Perfect. Hello. It wasn't hello, where everything is closed down and will open. And we haven't done the theory yet, so it's perfect. It's really perfectly. Every day, if you can do it, so you breathe out and you do, you can do 2 or 3 or even just one. As long as it feels comfortable. Don't do like, it's like, and you always want to sit down when you do it because you can get a little like dizzy because you get a lot of oxygen and we're not used to breathing well, which is a huge problem for most of us. All right, same thing again. You try to visualize that space so you open up a little more. And now emphasize the words that you think are really important, Lisa. And I know I'm asking a lot, but I know you can do it. So if you read, you wrote it down, which is perfect.
Today, I'm here to help you. That's hard.
It's perfect, Lisa. It's really, really good. It's so difficult to change your voice, and you already did it a lot. So today, you can say that in 1,000 ways. And remember, Lisa, the more you know, the more difficult it gets. Because before, you just don't think about it. And I was like, okay, I have to do this, now do Jackson, no rhythm. Today, I'm here to help you. Or today, I'm here to help you. Totally different meaning. So you sit down and you rehearse that. Just say it with any accent. But the most important thing is like not today I'm here to help you with the first category of the KonMari method.
Do you want me to say it again?
Yes.
Okay. Today, I'm here to help you with the KonMari method of clothing.
Oh, it's amazing. It's amazing that you can take the twang off. It's so fast. It's amazing. Truly. I'm going to give you like an applause. Trust me, when you're used to speaking with twang always activated like this, it's so, and you took it off immediately. Of course, you can't speak fast.
No.
You've done it once, so no problem. And the thing is, what you don't want to change your voice like that. You want to have you want to have a mixer pulp. So you can use your normal voice when you want that. And then when there's something like, okay, this is really important to me, or this is really important. This is, oh, come on. Are you sleeping out there? Well, wake up. Come on. So you have like a mixer pulp. And you can turn it up and you can turn it down. You can do the breaks. There was one, would you read that thing with where you take everything out of the drawers?
Okay.
It's very nicely written.
We take everything out of the closet and the drawers, and we look under the bed and take everything out and put it in one pile.
All right. Choose 3 words, Lisa, where we have the 4 parameters of the sound. That is duration, height. So duration, I can be like this, so the syllable can be longer, or can be short. So duration, pitch. Oh, and then, we take everything out of the drawer and we put it on the bed. It's like, oh, it's nothing, Then we take everything out of the drawers and put it, it's like, oh. And it depends on who you have in front of you, how you want to say it. If it's darker or more acute, the sound, and how loud it is, of course. So just pick 3 words that you kind of make last longer.
Okay. Drawers, closet under.
Okay, so now you read it again and you put those three. And can you do everything for me also and be like everything? You look in the camera.
Everything,
Like everything.
everything, everything, everything.
Oh, good. Did you see that? I could literally see it, how your larynx lowered. Yes.
I had to touch here to bring it down. Everything.
Perfect.
Now what?
From the top, we take everything out of the.
Oh, okay. We take everything out of the closets, out of your drawers, out from under the bed, and we place it in a pile. And from there, we choose and select each article of clothing.
Okay, now do it like really speedy. Whatever way it comes, as long as it's speedy.
Okay. We take everything out of the closets and the drawers and under the bed, and we put it in a pile, and we select one clothing.
Okay, do something in between that and the first one.
Okay. We take everything out of your closets and out of your drawers and everything from under the bed. And I think I went back to the twang, didn't I?
Yeah, but you can't think of everything. Okay, so you have to work on one thing at a time. But I love that you noticed.
Yes, right back. Okay. We take everything out of the closet. We take everything out of your drawers. We take everything from under your bed and we put it on a pile.
Yes. Okay, that was back to the twang. Oh, it's more. It's kind of like more like a vocal fry, but it is the way that a lot like in New York and they you speak like this. It's just habit. You just have to open up that space. Very good, Lisa. You can play around with it and do the. And the more you do it, yeah, I'll give you hands up again. You did awesome. And I'm reading a book that is awesome. It's called Atomic Habits. I recommend it to everybody because he talks about how we're taught to, make goals and set goals and we should reach our goals and blah, blah, blah. If I want to have a voice that I like, that I really appreciate, that I can listen to without being like, I still can't, I swear, I'm sorry. It's really difficult. He says to make habits. So if I want to be that, I tell myself, I'm someone, I do a vocal exercise every day. Think about it. Like it seems like something very far away. Okay, my goal is like to sing well or to speak confidently in front of an audience. It's way up there and it's not actionable. Whereas if you're like, okay, I'm someone that maybe looks at a tiny little picture of how a voice is constructed and how it works, and I do a vocal exercise every day. And 1 minute of a presentation live on Facebook or on Instagram. I just put myself out there and then I listen to it, or every 2 days or once every week. And in a year, how much have I done? A lot. Or I'm someone that from 8 in the morning to 9 in the morning, I really try to observe my voice. How is my voice in the morning? Who do I talk to? Do I speak differently to different people? Of course I do. If I speak to would I ever speak to my boss like I speak to my kids? No. Do I speak to my husband like I speak to my kittens? Probably not. Is it would you? And so on. Just really observe, listen, and listen to other people. So now you know the 3 different chords, like the length and the mass. So do they have a tiny little chord? Is it like a very acute sound? Do they have a long chord? Is it like flabby? Is it or is it like this, so wooden? Or is it like a nice elastic sound? And you just work with that for a week. And thank you so much. Rachel, do you have any questions? Anything you want to try? I know you have a bad connection.
No, not that. Thank you. Very interesting.
It's too high, right? That's super fine. Thank you for joining, and thank you everyone for listening in. Gonna just